All right, so we had a minute to settle in here, and we noticed a few issues that I think are pretty significant that we want to talk about, right? That we probably think that need to be rectified here. The first thing is, there's some chippage going on in here. It's not major. It doesn't look great though. It's definitely noticeable. And there's definitely a broken piece here in the end on the corner. It's hard to see, but if I get on the side here, you can see it, which is kind of a bummer. But it's noticeable. Um, Back here, it's hard to see on video. We tried to show it before, and it's hard to see, but there's some. It looks like there's some slight curvage or bend with the actual bar top, and we noticed here that when the brackets were put on, right, there's some significant. It's like not even sitting on top of this all the way. It's like some of it's sitting right on the edge here, right? And this is, I don't know if that was cutting a little too low or whatever, but I don't know, it doesn't particularly lay flat, I suppose. I don't know how to explain this. And because of that, we've noticed that over here on this side, if you take a look, Ivano, he ended up fixing it, I guess, for me, where this lip was like, it was at like an inch almost, like 7/8 of an inch, and then all the way down, it was down to 1/4 of an inch, and he torqued it over, and it's now like slight difference of, I think, from like 5/8 to like an eighth down at the end, which is fine, but now we've noticed that there's like a huge gap underneath here, right? And it kind of like goes all the way down to the end, and it looks like it's pretty it gets pretty how do you say, flush with the bottom of the granite. So I don't know if there's a way to fix that. Maybe there is. When Ivano came back, we mentioned too that this particular piece of granite was too short, right? So coming from the wall over, I actually noticed that the distance that it came out here to the stove versus down here at the end there, it was a little too shy, and he noticed that. So he says he's gonna have to cut that, which is good. We also noticed that there's like some gappage here, right? And I don't know if there's a way to fix that too. Maybe the granite was kind of cut at a slant a little bit or whatnot. And then I noticed that there's like we could see the shim in there. That's kind of a bummer. We don't like seeing that so much, but that's a minor detail. These seams, we understand that, there was going to be seams, but these are pretty wide. And they're also they're very rigid. Like I can feel them. They're pretty rough. Like they're not like buffed out enough. Like this should be pretty polished to the point where it feels like glass all the way across, and it's really not. And we noticed that the seams, they kind of shrink up towards the back, but they really open up towards the front. And that really doesn't look too good at all. Like a seam is one thing, when it's like nice and tight. But this seam here, it's pretty wide. So I don't know what the real deal was with that. Maybe there's a way to fix that. I'm not sure. Right. And the same thing for the other side here. We've got this seam. It's really big here. I actually think the blending job was a little bit better on here, but regardless, it's still it really narrows up the top, and then it really opens up wide. And it's a pretty big eyesore. We don't really love that. And again, this needs to be polished out a little bit more, I feel like. I really think these should probably have been closer together. Ivano did mention that there was a huge gap, because we do understand that the wall, these walls, are not, they're not plumb, and that's because the house was settling and there was really not much we could do. So he ended up caulking this in, which is fine. But we did notice that there was there was like a kind of like a, a little defect here, right, where I don't know if this was just hollowed too hard or whatever, but you got like this little concavity here that goes all the way down. Well, sorry, it gets really thin here and then it opens back up again. So we noticed that as we're walking down. One of the biggest concerns we've noticed, right, is the sinkhole. So, when they brought this piece in, I thought the hole looked really nice, but they didn't leave any room for overhang whatsoever. And that's kind of an issue because I can look at the sink and I can literally see like all of the adhesive, the glue, right? And it's pretty exposed on all sides. And there's like if you look on the backside, like it's got about, gosh, like just about a 16th, if not less than that, of a lip. And it's not even like, sometimes it's like a 16th of an inch of a lip, and then like if you run your finger on it, it gets more flush. So like it's not a perfect square, and it's super noticeable because like there's really no overhang or no lip, right? So we should have at the very minimum more like a 1/4 of an inch overhang here, and we don't even have anything near that, right? So like between a 1/4 of an inch and like like 3/8 of an overhang should be on this.
One side flush and one
You know, so like I was saying, one side is flush, and the other side has got like a lip that's very, very minor. So that's kind of a number of the different things we ran into. I mean, these look good though. Like I think these look great. Like this one looks great. We have no issues with this one whatsoever. The one over there at the underneath here, that one looks great too. So I mean, we have no issues with this one either. It's just the issues that we ran into with these and the seams and the sinkhole specifically is kind of an issue here. So anyway, aside from that, I mean, I'm going to send this over to you, and I'll probably explain this in detail through text message as well in the morning. And I'm going to give you a call